Good morning, second and third grade. Yes, hey, this is Miss Porter. I just came on to talk to you a little bit about the elements of art manipulatives you will be making for my class. So some of you were with me last year and we learned about the 7 elements of art: line, shape, color, value, form, texture, and space. So this year we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to make something that you can always go back and look at, especially since you guys are home and we're not in the building. So this is an example of an elements of art booklet. And what you'll notice is I started here with the elements of art, and then I put an example of each in a different square. So I've got line, value, shape, color, form, texture, and space. And if you look at it really closely, so you can see the word space in here, but I did an example of a good way to use space. I used form to create those words or those letters. Value, I used value. So we're going to talk about each one, and I'm going to show you different ways that you can create these. So take a look at line. We remember, or maybe we don't, that a line is basically created by starting with a point and just continuing. Well, if you open this, the definition of line is inside. So it's kind of like a little booklet. So line, what I wrote was a path created by a moving point in space. And then I also put some examples of different types of lines. Horizontal, vertical, diagonal, zigzag. I mean, there are lots of different types of lines, and you'll notice that in here I drew some of those. Value is how light or how dark a color is, all right? And then I just showed different examples of value. Form is a 3D shape. So if you go over here, we have regular 2D shapes, and I use shapes on the outside, wrote the definition on the inside. A form is a 3D version of a shape. So a square is a regular shape, a cube is the form. So those are the things that I want you to put on your booklet or inside your booklet. Color, I just chose to do the color wheel and a rainbow because I know we can relate to that, but I could have colored my entire background with different colors and still shown an example of what color is. And then texture, I wrote the word texture and I used different types of lines to create what texture is. And texture is basically how something looks like it feels or how something actually feels. So if I touch my hair has texture. And the way that I have it styled, it feels kind of, I guess, bumpy or wavy. On here, this T looks prickly. It's not prickly because it's paper, but it looks prickly based on how I drew that, the lines on it. And then space is basically how you utilize your empty space. So that's a completely empty space of paper. Once I add something to it, it no longer becomes empty. You have the background, which is the negative space, and then you've got your positive space. And then the way that I drew this, you can tell that there are things that are inside, around, above. It's my job as an artist to make it look like I can walk into that sheet of paper. All right? So that's going to be your assignment for your first virtual lesson. But this is one example. This is one way to create the elements of art manipulative. Here is another one. I didn't color it, but I did create it. What you would do for line, you would still write it and then maybe put some pictures out here. And then when you open the flap, you've got a section where your definition would be. So it's just another way to do it. This one is easier to rip, but it's also fun because then you get a chance to use another material, another supply, scissors. And I know some people really like to cut. Here is another example of one. And I'll show you guys how to do all of these different ones. But basically, I started with a center and I drew lines. I used that element of art known as line, and I drew horizontal line, horizontal, vertical, diagonal lines, and I sectioned it off into the 7 elements. So here we have texture, space, form, value, color, shape, line. All right? So those are just some different ways that you can create your element chart. Here is another one. where you've got the elements of art and then you do them in squares. So let's move on and talk about how to create these. So this first one, I'm going to show you, and you won't be able to see me. I'm going to move the camera down so that you can actually see. So for this one, all I did was I took my paper and I turned it landscape, and I fold both edges together so that they kind of meet in the middle. Again, I'm not looking for it to be perfect, but it does need to be on. And for this, you can actually do on notebook paper if you don't have any copy paper yet. And I just kind of fold my edges down so that it looks like a little book. Now, to make sure that my lines are kind of straight in the middle, I'm going to take this edge and fold it over. And then I'm going to do it one more time. So far, I've just kind of folded in, then I fold over, and then I'm going to fold over one more time. And now I can use a marker and separate my lines. Because all I'm doing now is just drawing on top of where the fold was. The fold is just there to give me a reference point. And I'm going to do the same thing in the middle. And then I just want to draw a line kind of down the middle. And now I have my booklet. So on one side, I'm going to write elements of art. I think I want to use a different marker. And you can make this as creative and colorful as you want. So all I did was wrote element of art, and then I would just go and put each of the 7 elements: line, shape, color, value, texture, form, space. All right? And on the inside, I write my definitions. So that's one way. Another one is this one. I'm going to show you how to make this one. This time, you're going to fold your paper. You're going to hold it portrait and fold it. Some of you know it as hot dog style. So we're going to fold it. All right, let me move the rest of the paper so you can see. And now I'm going to fold this way. So I folded hot dog. Now I fold over. I'm going to fold over one more time. Kind of feels like we're doing origami a little bit. And then one more time. So that when you get done, you should have something that kind of looks like this. And then we're going to open it. It looks a little bit like an accordion. And now you have all of these different sections. On one side, I'm going to draw my lines. So wherever there's a fold, I'm drawing a line. And again, we do all the folding just to make sure that we have even sections. And on the opposite side, I'm just going to cut where the fold is. Oops, I cut the wrong. So I made a mistake. You don't want to do that. So you may want to open it so that you don't cut through both sides. I'm kind of glad that happened so that you could see. If you don't have scissors at home, don't worry about doing this one. Like I said, I just wanted to show you some different ways because it's your choice how you want to do it. You may even come up with another way to do it. But on each flap is where I would write. So the first one would be elements of art. And then I would write my elements and maybe do my designs on the outside or the inside. It's up to you. So I do line, shape, color. And you can be creative and use bubble letters or block letters. Value, form, texture, and space. All right, so that was that one. All right, two more actually. The next one is the one that looks like this. Pretty easy. We're going to fold it in half. Again, hot dog style. Fold it in half again. And then fold it in half one more time. All right, and then we're going to open it. And we are ready to draw our lines. Again, the folds are just there so you have a reference of where to put your lines. And on this one, I worked the long or tall way. This time I'm going to change it. We can do it this way. Elements of art. And you can write your elements either at the top or the bottom or the middle. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do line, shape, color. And in each section you would do examples. Value, form, texture, and space. All right, and the last one, because I'm ready for you guys to do your work. We're going to start, again, we're going to fold our paper because we want some even lines. So I'm going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. This time we are working in 4 quadrants. And we're going to separate our paper with a vertical line, a horizontal line, and now we're going to go from the center to each corner. That's going to give you 8 sections. And I'm going to write elements Yep, I might run out of space. Elements of art. And then I would do each one. So line, shape, color, and you can make them big if you want to. Value, texture, space, and form. All right, happy creating, and just wanted to show you this one last time, just to kind of give you an idea of what this one may end up looking like. All right, thank you so much, boys and girls. I hope you have fun making these, and make sure you hold on to them, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.